process of all of these things, if you have children, then make sure that they're taken care of in every right way. You say, what do you mean? Make sure that you don't throw your spouse, if you have children together, under the bus. Don't say negative things about him or her. Don't do that. That hurts the kids. You make sure that even in your pain, you're there for the kids. It can be hard when you're hurting, but you be there for them and help them where they're hurt. Do the best you can not to let this fear that children have that come after a divorce, or the anxieties, or the asking themselves, is this my fault, or the wondering, can I ever trust anybody, that you do everything you can to help them with that if you have children. And then when you finally decide, okay, it's been a while. Now, the rule of thumb is about a year. I can't say that, you look at the calendar, oh, tomorrow. I don't mean that. But the rule of thumb is about a year when you finally decide, okay, I think I am going to get back out there again. I'm going to maybe start dating. Before you ever do, sit down and write down exactly what you want in the next relationship. Write down what kind of personality you would like to be involved with. Write down the beliefs and values this person should have that are crucial to you, and that if he or she doesn't have them, it's a deal breaker. Write down all the things that are important to you, like, he's kind and gentle, and or she's sweet. This person takes care of his or her body. This person is of my religion, and not just in a facade fashion, but actually has it in his or her heart. I mean, you write down everything you want to write down that's important to you about who this next person is going to be. You say, what? You mean we're going to order it from Amazon? Not yet. There may be a day, but not yet. But the more you know about what you want and who you would feel compatible with, the better off you are. And then remember this, if you decide to start dating, the kind of catch depends on the body of water in which you're fishing. May I say that again? The kind of fish you catch depends on the body of water in which you're fishing. And so if you're going to hang out where people are getting drunk and carrying on and that kind of stuff, then that'll kind of connect you to that kind of person. Whereas if you meet somebody at church, it'll be a different kind of person, or somebody where you start taking adult classes, a couple of nights a week over at the junior college or the big university. Or if you decide, think about, where do I go and the kind of people who are going to be there. I want to know what kind of pond I'm going to be fishing in. And if you want to find somebody on one of those online dating sites, make sure that you use a good and reputable one. And then if you do start dating, and here's a crucial thing. I almost let this out. Before you start dating again, if you choose to date, make sure you've healed enough from the hurt from what happened when your marriage ended that it's okay with you when you're alone. In other words, that you don't need somebody to complete you or make things fulfilling. If you can learn how to be okay alone, that's a much healthier place to be and will really help in what happens next. And if you can't get there on your own, then you get a counselor, a therapist, a pastor, a minister, a rabbi, whatever, and get that person to help you reach that point where you can be okay to be alone. And then whenever you meet somebody, if you start dating, before you get serious, make sure that he or she is also okay being alone. Therefore, you're going to have a person that's not going to be clinging to you and just choking you down. You don't want that. You want to be in a relationship that's healthy. And again, after you've written out all those other things, like what religious beliefs do you want them to have, morals, etc., all those things are very, very, very important. And then when you start dating, again, you're okay now being alone. So if you don't start dating right away, great. And, one other thing, be kind to your former spouse. After the divorce, be kind. Now, stand up for yourself. Don't let him or she or her run over you. Don't let them cheat you financially. Don't let them not pay piles of child support to your children. You be tough enough to make them do what they need to do, but otherwise be gracious and kind to them. And remember, and I've said it already, but let me repeat it, do not use your children as a pawn by throwing your spouse under the bus or sending messages to your ex through him or her And after you're divorced, if your ex gets involved with another person, it's going to happen that your children will be around that other person, so you don't throw that other person under the bus either. Not because you like them or what your spouse has done, but because you love your children and you don't want to do any more damage to them. So let's go back. If you start dating, then test every new relationship. Be careful. Go slow. Watch out for limerence. Limerence is not a bad thing when two people have a right to each other. It's just not. But it can make you not think things through carefully. You say, so if I finally go into limerence, does that mean I should run? Not necessarily. Limerence can be a good thing for two people who have a right to each other. But just be careful. Just don't let your emotions take over and control you so that one day you wake up and go, what the heck was I thinking? And then with this new person, introduce your kids, if you have them, gradually. I mean, don't bring them in on the first, second, or third date and expose them to the kids and the kids to them, because if you do that, then you wind up dating somebody else and then somebody else and then somebody else later. It's going to confuse the kids, so just don't involve the kids to begin with. If a relationship begins to develop and gets, and you feel like this is a good one, then okay. Yeah, okay. In that case, it's time to finally introduce the kids, but even then, in a way where this is my friend, and do it slowly, gradually, carefully. And then if you find somebody like that you think, this has gone far enough, I can introduce this person to my kids. Before you get there, you find out people who know him or her and talk to them. Hey, what do you know about Charlie? I met Charlie the other day. Don't necessarily tell them all the things about Charlie and I've been out 10 times, but things like, hey, I heard that you know Charlie. Hey, tell me about his strengths and tell me about his weaknesses. I want to hear about Charlie. Those kinds of things. I tell you what, in this day and time, I don't know. If I might even have to say to the person, if it started getting serious, let's do FBI checks, background checks on each other. Let's do credit reports on each other, because I want to make sure that you know everything about me. And therefore, we're going to reciprocate and know everything about you. I've got nothing to hide, do you? I wouldn't do it early on, or they'll run like a scared rabbit. But what you want to do is to make sure you check this person out. And if I were to get married again, I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd write a contract. Now, I don't mean a prenup. Not a prenup. Some of you might, because you have a lot of assets. I work for a nonprofit. I don't. But the contract would be, these are the things that we commit to each other. This is the way we're going to fight fair. This is what we're going to do when one of us gets angry. This is what we're going to do when times get tough. Not a contract is a legal document, you understand, but this thing that you both read through, write it together. Write it together. Get everything in there that's important to you, and then you both sign it. And I don't mean something where you must wash my socks every other day. Not that kind of crap. But things that are important to a relationship. And then understand the three basic components of romantic love. One is commitment. Make sure that you're willing to commit your life to this person, and he or she will commit to you. Number two is that you are going to have intimacy, that he or she is comfortable taking bricks off their wall and letting you see who they really are, that they'll tell you things they're scared that if they told anybody else, they'd reject them. Make sure you've reached the point where each of you can be so honest and transparent and vulnerable with each other that you both feel safe. And then that you develop passion. Yeah, sex is involved in that, but I'm not really talking about sex. I mean a craving for oneness, that you truly want to be one with this person in everything you do in life, not just in the bedroom, and that he or she wants to be truly one with you. Well, those are the basic principles. Hopefully they help. Now let's just start seeing if any of this is going to make any sense to anybody else out there by starting to take some of the calls that we have. And let me get over here to that particular document and see what I can do here. Okay, we're going to, I believe this will be Greensboro, North Carolina, area code 336. Are you there? Area code 336? Yes, this is yes. Joe Beam. You're on the program with me. Can I have a first name, please?
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth? Okay, Elizabeth, how can I help you this evening?
I've been trying to call in for a couple of weeks now and haven't made it, so now I'm not ready. I guess I'm at that point where I'm trying to decide what direction to go. You've heard most of our story, and we've been to the workshop and met us and all the rest. And finally, just yesterday, I did finally tell my husband that he either has to end this affair or move out, one or the other. So he has until Sunday to make that decision. So I don't think I'm at that point yet where I'm not sure. I guess my question is more, I know that I still intend to stand and fight for my marriage, even if he does move out. I'm not at that point, but I feel complete peace as far as asking him, telling him that he either has to stop or move out. And so I really appreciated you re-emphasizing that today, to not act until you felt peace about it, and I did not until now, and now I do. So, and greatly appreciate that. But it just, I guess more and more question is, even before giving up, how do you know when to show patience, and how do you know when to show tough love? In both being, kind, cordial, safe place and all the rest, but that line between being patient with them and actually taking a stand and protecting myself.
Well, I understand that. And sometimes it's really hard to know where that line is. I agree wholeheartedly. I remember you now. Once you started talking, I've heard that voice. Let me see who this is, and I've got it. I know who you are in your situation. First of all, let me affirm you, because I did spend some time with you in a workshop, and I got to know you. You are a strong person. You are an intelligent person. You're a godly person. I want to make sure that you know that about you. And now that you have gotten to the point of feeling peace about making this demand, I think that makes sense. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just affirming you, okay? And in that situation, if he says, no, I'm not ending it, what are you going to do?
He has until Sunday, and he has to. Well, today is his first night ever sleeping on the couch. Or in another room. His choice, as far as he needs some time to think, and kiss me goodnight. Nothing hostile between us at all. Just he wants to think. Basically, by Sunday, if he chooses not to, then he has to leave the house, just because my body and my mind knows what's going on and understands it, but my body is rejecting the betrayal and just the turmoil. So to give me some peace, and because she does live 2 houses down, gotcha. It's a constant. It's never away from me. That he has to leave and has to tell our children why he's leaving. Because they won't. They
Hello?
never even envision us even having issues, much less all that does go on.
Okay, are you going to be there with him if he does that? If he tells the kids, are you going to be there?
Definitely.
Good.
Definitely.
Excellent.
And that's probably his hesitation. He 100% knows that as he feels right now, he loves both of us, does not want to leave home, but he would choose to be with her just because it's easy and because of the limerence and because there's no conflict there. So it's a matter of...
I heard the question earlier that basically you're saying, okay, once I do that, what do I do next? Because I want to be kind and gentle, but I don't want to encourage the other thing too. Is that what I was hearing?
Yes. Yeah. And even if he chooses to leave or if he chooses to stay, I'm more scared, I think, if he chooses to stay. Because we've done it. This is our 7th attempt on this particular affair. This is not his first affair. This is his 7th attempt at trying to end it. And I know that I almost feel like he almost has to be away and get it out of his system and do some of that before he'll be able to end it.
So what I'm hearing you say is if he leaves, you actually feel that's going to be more authentic than if he stays. That's what I hear you saying. Okay.
Yes.
And so if that happens, if indeed he stays and now you're not trusting, I would suggest, my friend, that you create an accountability system that would give you peace of mind. In other words, these are going to have to be the things you do so that I can have peace of mind, and I'm going to need to know all of these things. And we might have to live like this for 6 months, 9 months, maybe even a year, and that you actually make those things happen. Because if you're not going to be feeling peace of mind, you've got to create a situation where you can. Would you agree with that?
Yes, yeah, and we've done this before, unfortunately.
No, okay. Well, but
yeah,
this
this is not
time
his
build
first,
some
so